Hey, are you a healthcare pro in WA with the means to start property investing but without a clue where to start? Give me 3 minutes and I'll show you the mistake that we see a lot of our clients, healthcare professionals, making when they're starting their portfolio and how to avoid it. If you'd like free access to the 30-minute workshop we release to our clients showing how you can start your investing journey in 3 steps, just drop me a line below. If you don't know me, my name is Alex. I'm the director of Voyage Financial. We have helped hundreds of healthcare professionals across WA with their lending, property, and finance needs for over a decade. All right, let's get stuck into that investment property that you need to avoid in the next couple of minutes. So we see this mistake really a lot with healthcare professionals. When they come to see us, quite often they've already got a property, but they sort of come with the mindset that any property is an investment property. And that is sometimes true. Sometimes they've already purchased a property and that property purchase is done quite well. But quite often the property that they purchase is actually holding them back and has been holding them back for quite a number of years. So any property is an investment idea sort of manifests itself in 2 ways. The first way is that they have turned an existing property into an investment. The typical scenario here is that someone has purchased their first home, then 4 or 5 years later, they've partnered up, they've got kids on the way, and the place that they're in is too small, so they upgrade and keep their existing property. What we find though is that first property wasn't necessarily purchased with investing in mind, and so what this means is that property may be maybe poor on cash flow, maybe tying up equity, and I'll be explaining that a little bit more in the next slide. The second way that this idea manifests is that they just go and purchase a property. They basically will just go and purchase anything. And we see this happen all the time. Now, we as finance professionals, as mortgage brokers and financial planners, we're looking at properties every single day. We're helping people buy property every single day. But what we are not doing is actually going and selecting that property for them. Why? Because property selection and investing is actually it's an entire business, an entire industry just by itself. You get a professional buyer's agent who knows what they're doing. They're looking at suburbs that are underperforming or that are about to have an increase in infrastructure or that are about to outperform the rest of the market. They're skilled in negotiation. They're skilled in looking at even like gauging other people's reactions when people are going through property and figuring out what sort of property is going to do well in this particular type of suburb. There are lots and lots and lots of skills and experience that goes into property investing and picking out and selecting certain properties that even we, dealing with properties every day, just aren't experienced and skilled enough to actually handle. So if you're trying to do this by yourself, we see that quite often. People have selected the wrong property and have actually set themselves back years. So not all properties are equal. So just to go into a little bit further as to what's wrong with this, as I've said, the property that you purchased as your first home may be at complete odds with the investment goals that you have. You may be tying up equity. You may be tying up cash flow. You may have no options to actually improve that property. So one of the methods that we encourage is to buy a property with the idea to hold it for the long term, but to actually buy a property with a concept that we call a hold approach. What we mean by that is high optionality leverage down. So a property that you can purchase to actually do something to over the medium to long term that is actually then going to leverage that property down in terms of the debt that you hold against it. We increase the capital or we increase the value, and so we've increased our equity available in that. Now, I've run out of time. If you want to go through a free workshop, that free workshop that I mentioned at the beginning that we've just released to our clients, send me a message, drop a line below. It only goes for about 30 minutes, but it's going to explain a lot more of these concepts in depth.